Hey, welcome to the Airmere Roundtable. Today is the 9th of February, 2022. We have a special guest, Brian Vogelman from Capital Allocation, or formerly OptionVue. And Brian and I have been talking for a while. And Brian, it's nice to have you here. So welcome.
Yeah, Tom, thanks for having me. I appreciate this.
And before we get too far into it, just you see on your screen the disclosure that Airmere is not a broker, dealer, or investment advisor. This is for educational purposes only. Options, futures, and currencies, all involved risks, are not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. And if you want to read the whole disclosure, just pause the recording or go to the bottom of any of our web pages. And so that's it for that. So let me stop sharing my screen. All right, so Brian, you can share your screen now. And while you're sharing it, I've been a long time user of OptionVue, and I think I started using it in 2006, just to give you an idea. It's been a long time.
Yeah, well, we always appreciate having customers who've liked the program for so long. Yeah, I don't know I know there's been it's been some changes that have occurred over here, and people have asked us and stuff like that. I guess I can start out with just kind of giving you my background, because that's usually one of the questions that I do get from a lot of people. I've basically been in finance for over 35 years. Out of college, and then I worked for mutual fund companies. I've been a financial advisor. I actually worked on the floor of the CBOE for a short period of time in that. And at one point in the past, had also was a partner in an off-floor trading firm. And then before I purchased OptionVue, I traded futures and options in that for myself. And then of course in around 2000, actually the very end of 2018, so right around the beginning of 2019, is when I actually ended up purchasing OptionVue. So I've got it's been a lifelong passion of mine being in the financial arena. So yeah, I don't know, I can give a little bit of background in terms of OptionVue itself and kind of the history of how what we got here. OptionVue, the previous owner, Len Yates, actually created OptionVue back in 1982. So we've been, it's been around for decades now. When to kind of clear up some of the confusion that we've had over the last couple of years, OptionVue, Len had actually named the company OptionVue, had the product OptionVue, and had some other companies named OptionVue in that. So it did get a little confusing when I came in and actually had the new parent company is now called Capital Allocation, and OptionVue is a product of Capital Allocation. So I know that's something that's kind of created confusion over the last couple of years as we've been transitioning and doing that. Recently, we've made some changes recently in terms of the different types of products that we have. So I just kind of wanted to go over that too a little bit. And I can, actually I can bring up the website to kind of go along with this a little bit easier. So let me just grab that. One second here. So I think if I share, can you, Tom, can you see my screen in that?
I see we've moved.
Yes. So this is, so if you go to OptionVue right now, this is the screen you'll see. So anybody who's familiar with OptionVue.com, if you see this is the correct screen. And when you click on the Capital Allocation, it takes you to here, which is our brand new website that we created about, I guess it's been about a month and a half ago now. So what we're really trying to do is take a lot of the websites that we used to have in terms of, we had OptionVue website. There was OptionVue, and merging it into this Capital Allocation website is the first stage of what we're trying to do. Eventually, all of our websites will be merged into Capital Allocation. And we're just doing that so that way you can have one username, one password. You don't have to remember, 6 or 7 of them. And it kind of gives you a little bit more ease of use for everything. But the one thing that to get back on track, or the one thing I was talking about earlier, if we go to products and you go to our software, you can actually see that we now have actually OptionVue Basic. We have a delayed version and a real-time version, all in yearly, monthly payment plan or subscription plans and that. But the main difference between these three is OptionVue Basic is one that is the most popular one that usually people go with, and that's because the data the data comes through either Thinkorswim or Interactive Brokers. So that's that's usually the most popular with, because people usually have one or two of those platforms in most cases. Over time, we are actually adding more platforms to that. So that's, this is not, if you don't see the platform yet, you may see it coming up in the future. People who used to use OptionVue would sometimes get Backtrader and use that as kind of a delayed, sort of a delayed feed. But in order to get that, you would have to keep moving forward. It didn't automatically move forward for you, which is why we now offer the OptionVue delayed. That actually gives you a streaming delayed feed from our new data provider, which is DXFeed, which we moved to about a year ago. We had to wait to, we had a contract that we had with our previous data provider that we had to wait until it expired in order to get out of it. But we're with DXFeed. We're very happy with them. They not only offer data for all of the exchanges in the United States, but they also offer data for foreign exchanges, which at some point down the road, we do, as we expand OptionVue, we do want to be able to add, we expect to be able to add that at some point. So that's kind of the main difference. And then of course the real time is similar to like an Interactive Brokers or something like that, if people are familiar with that, where you get OptionVue, you'll then sign up with DXFeed and choose the exchanges that you want. There's obviously there's the charge, each exchange has its own fees that vary. So, depending on the exchanges, it can be more or less, in terms of adding extra costs. And then kind of the easier, or to go right into this, people are familiar with Backtrader, where it allows you to trade or to look at, look historically and test trades historically. That still is the same. And just, I guess, to let you know, a lot of this stuff really hasn't changed. I'll get into the reason for that in a minute here, but yeah, basically Backtrader, it has 15-minute intervals on it that you can go back in time on. We still have OpScan over here, which is still the scanning, the more in-depth scanning software that we have that can be added on. And then of course, earnings plays that we've always had. And what it does is it looks at 5 different categories of earnings that have occurred. It goes over the last 8 quarters and says and looks as to how the stock reacts after companies announce earnings, and then categorizes them into 1 of 5 categories, and then will help you. You can, from there you can then figure out how you can trade or back test it if you want, and then put that trade on either before or after earnings, depending on earnings announcements, depending on which one you pick. So we've got a lot of, for most people who've seen OptionVue before, this is going to be pretty similar. We are working on new products also that we hope to be releasing in the next couple months on that. But for anybody who's hasn't seen OptionVue in a while, it's going to work pretty much the same in terms of the look and feel of it. We have been making a lot of updates in that to kind of the back end of it. So, and then also just wanted to let you know too, we were just recently in December of 2021, we were actually named as one of the top 20 most promising capital market technology solution providers, which I know is a handful or a handful of names, by CIO Review magazine, which we're very proud of. That was actually, they had contacted us and said that they put this out to their subscribers and we were actually voted on to be one of the top 20. So we're really happy about that. So I don't know, Tom, is there anything that you wanted to
There's
ask
just a
on or anything?
Yeah, there was just a quick question. Is Backtrader
Sure.
standalone? I think you have to add it. It's an add-on to OptionVue Basic, Delayed, or Real Time, isn't it?
That is correct. Yes. Yeah. OpScan, Backtrader, and Earnings Plays all require OptionVue, one of the option views, Basic, Delayed, or Real Time, to work. In the future, we are actually, that's one of the things we are actually doing, and that's why we created the website the way we did. We do want to create standalone versions of this stuff, of all these products, sometime in the future. And so that is one of our intents to do that. And so was there anything else, Tom?
That's the only question so far.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now I guess what I wanted to do was kind of get into, I can go back to the front page here. Yeah, we've been in the time that since I purchased the company, we've actually done a lot of stuff, and most of it is, well, all of it is actually behind the scenes, just because in order to, we are going to be rewriting the software, and we're working on that right now. But before we can even start that, we realized that, with the way the exchanges are and the data that's coming in nowadays, we need systems that are going to be able to handle this, handle all the data coming in and all the new options that they're creating, the new products that are coming out, the new futures, cryptos, and different things like that. So the first thing we did was we actually went out and completely re-architected our network, and then have all new computers, equipment, switches, routers, all that stuff, and moved everything into a data center that's closer to where we are, where the home our company is. We wanted to do this for a couple different reasons. I mean, one is, obviously the newer equipment is more reliable. It's going to be quicker. It's going to have more flexibility in terms of adding storage and different things like that. And we wanted to have something really close to the office so that in case we did have any issues, our downtime is limited. We don't anticipate having any issues because now we have backup servers and backups to those and everything. So we're looking at, we have more capacity than we need at this point, and we can easily move stuff over. So that was the main thing we did on that. With the new data provider that we have, we also went to that because they can provide a lot more granularity when it comes to data. So we're actually, with the new servers and that, and the storage capacities, we're storing more data to make it so that our products such as Backtrader and that, we eventually want to be able to bring those time frames down from 15-minute intervals down to 5, and possibly even smaller in the future. So that's one of the things that we're doing now is we're actually creating the new database for that. And I guess I already mentioned about, with the DX feed also, with the new data provider, we have found that they're even faster, and their data is extremely reliable. So we're very happy with that partnership that we have with them. And then the last thing that we're doing is obviously the website that you see here. We just started, as I said, we just launched that just recently. The nice thing is before, if you ever wanted to, manage your subscription or download the software, you'd have to go to a different website to do that, and usually you'd have to call in to make any changes to your subscription. Now we have this dashboard where you can, in your profile, you can go into here and you can change your password. You can do all that stuff. You get notifications for any issues that are coming up or any new things that are coming out. And then we have subscriptions here. And this is also where you would see the download button would be right around here, depending on those products and that you have. So we're just trying to make it a much easier setup for everybody. Oops, go over here. So I guess I wanted to then, one of the, after I kind of usually tell people that this is what we've done and that, the next question, of course, is, well, what's going to happen going forward now? We're actually currently about to release, making a lot of new releases. We have the communicator that we have that communicates the data from DX feed, from thinkorswim, from interactive brokers into OptionVue has been rewritten, and so that's going to be released here in the next couple of weeks, which should actually speed up some of the data that's coming through and allow us to add the new symbols and that faster and everything. I don't know if people have read lately, but I believe it was last week, the CBOE, I think, said that in the next couple quarters, so probably it looks like at least before the end of this year, they're going to be adding Tuesdays and Thursday expirations to their option chains, which already have the Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. So, we're looking at a lot of that stuff, and we've anticipated that, we're going to have more data coming through, and the system's going to have to be handling, more data, not in just the next year, but going forward for the next 5 years, and, and further. So the good thing is by doing all this stuff, we're ready for all that now. We also are working on, we've been fine tuning the modeling in the software. There's going to be a new module that's going to be coming out within the next month or two that we think will improve on the modeling, and in terms of the capabilities and the customization that you can do with it will also be included in that. And that's one of the things that we've actually gotten from some of our customers over the years. I've been, since I purchased the company, I've been actually trying to talk to as many customers as I can. And in fact, right now I've even been doing some of the support calls and sales calls and that, just because I want to hear what people are suggesting, and what are they looking for? What would they like to see? What kind of changes would they like to see? Different things like that. Because we obviously want to improve the product as much as we can. And also one of the things for the rewrite of the software that we're doing is we have had a lot of people ask that more and more people are now starting to use Macs. So as we rewrite the software, that is going to be one of the things that we're going to incorporate. Is we're going to have a version for Windows and a version for Mac is what we're going to incorporate with that. So yeah, it's I just wanted to check in, Tom. Was there another question or anything that came in, or
yeah, there was. Eric says stability was always terrible. Has OptionVue been rewritten from scratch since you own the company? I think that's what you're doing right now. It hasn't really been rewritten yet.
No, we have been going in and fixing things in the current, any issues that we've come across in the current software. So we are making changes to the current software and upgrading that. And in fact, we are going to be doing a new release. And like I said, over the next couple of weeks to month, there's going to be some new releases coming out and some changes in that with the current software. We're addressing as many issues as we can in the current software, and writing the new stuff at the same time, because I've created a new team of programmers that I've hired, and also network engineers and stuff like that. So I mean, we're definitely working on both.
And Chris asks, any thought about having the program be a UI to various brokers?
That is a possibility that we've thought about. But obviously I don't want to get ahead of myself on some of that, but I have talked to some brokers, to at least one broker, to talk about, to talk about that, where we could interface into that. But like I said, the first thing is to rewrite the software and get it working the way we think it needs to be, or we're in a position where it needs to be. So, and in the meantime, as I mentioned, add more other platforms that it can interface with to receive the data. Because obviously, nobody wants to pay, purchase ICE, on 3 different platforms and pay for that 3 different times per month. I know that's been
Yeah, that's why the broker quotes are handy.
right. So that's one of the things we want to expand on. So
let's see, I don't know if you can pull up the thread, but there's
let me see here.
let me see if I can find that. There are a bunch of suggestions. Maybe I can put it in the chat if you see the chat.
Yeah. Let me move this channel here.
And Jay says the base service cost is 4 times higher than option net. What functions make it worth that now? I think it's more like double, not 4 times.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because I believe option net is 500 British pounds or something like that, which would be roughly $750, I think, based on the current conversion, or somewhere around there.
Yeah, let me check. Let's see. Okay, pricing of option net is 500 British pounds to USD. You can use that on Google, by the way, the currency conversions. That's 706.77 is what option net costs in US dollars. So you guys, the basic one's about 50% more, maybe, maybe a little less than 50%.
Yeah. It's, obviously pricing is something that we're trying to work on also. It's, there's a lot of cost in doing what we're doing and rewriting it in that. And so, there's only, I'm trying to do everything I can on that. And that is something that we're looking at. So
if you include Backtrader, because OptionNet has Backtrader, that's about double. Yeah.
Yeah, which is why we want to add more features, and that also, because one of the things we are finding is we have expanded our customer base also, in terms of we've been getting some smaller trading firms and that we're starting to use us more, and so we obviously are trying to expand the features that not only our retail customers are asking for, but our institutional customers. And I see somebody was asking about what is it? Possibly a discount or something for returning customers. Is that
right? Yeah.
Is it in there? Yeah, I'd be happy if anybody wants to look at OptionVue again, or wants to return. They can please call in, and we will obviously we can offer some different different discounts in that. I'd be happy to do that. So, the trials, I see somebody was asking about a free trial. The reason the trial, we do have a 14-day trial that's $6. We just do that because there's just certain costs that we have to, that every time we do a trial, there's with our data provider, because we provide delayed quotes when we do a trial. We're just passing that. We don't make any money on trials, is what I'm trying to say. That's just an expense that we have, and that's why it's that's about what it costs us to do delayed quotes for that 2-week time period.
Now for the modeling, if I remember correctly, you have a choice. You can do like the normal Black-Scholes, and then maybe whatever new models you're working on. So you don't have to have there's not only just one model. I don't think Option Explorer lets you change models.
Correct. Right. And I don't want to get too much into that, because like I said, we're working on the modeling right now, and there are going to be some changes to it. So I don't want to show it right now, and then a month from now or 2 months from now, when we release it, it's completely different. It's not going to be much different, but we may change some of the names and stuff like that on some of the models.
Let's see, John, are you seeing the chat too, or
I'm looking here.
about the new IB communicator?
Oh yeah, you mentioned what go with default symbol. I've limited. Yeah, one of the things that we're actually limited to within interactive brokers is they only allow us to do 100 symbols at a time. That's just how their API works. It's that, so we're actually limited to that. So, but we're trying to make that make that work as fast as possible. You know, and change some of the amount of time in between refreshing, you know, the quotes.
Have you thought about letting people use third-party data providers like IQ Feed or eSignal?
Yeah, those are some of the ones that we are looking at to add eventually. I know eSignal was one we used to have years ago.
Yeah, I did too, but it's expensive. I use IQ Feed now.
Yeah, it's we're looking into the ones that people are requesting the most. You know, we're kind of so actually if anybody has requests on that, I'm always happy to take a, you know, to get the feedback on that.
Well, plus one for me on IQ Feeds.
There you go. Okay. No problem. Yeah, we obviously because the more we add, the better off, you know, the more variety people will have to choose and the more flexibility. So obviously we want to do as much as we can on that. So
now, one thing I've seen from a lot of different software platforms is the ones that have an API usually generate a really nice community of third-party add-ons and makes the program more robust. Is that something you guys are maybe thinking about in the future?
yeah, we would. That's, you know, that's some of the expansion that we want to do with the website. The website we actually wrote it. I had an internal person create the website specifically for that reason, so that we know exactly what's going on, and we're able to modify or add, you know, different types of forums or third-party apps, different things like that. We want to be able to do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, the CME group, we have not talked to them directly at this point, just because we get all of our data from DX feed right now, which is basically a direct feed from they and their feed is direct from the CME. So we're looking, like I said, we're looking into a lot of different things. We're still newer with DX after, you know, even though we're only with them for a year. We're still learning. They've just got so much that they offer. It's incredible. So we're looking at what they offer also, and trying to get all that stuff, see what's worth integrating and what's not. But yeah, it's you know, the basic, just I guess to kind of let you guys, let your listeners know, you know, the real reason that we've been taking the last couple of years to do all this stuff is because we realized that in order to create the platform that we want to, we really need a solid foundation of, you know, of computer equipment. You know, we've got a new database, we've got, you know, the data, all that stuff put together is a major undertaking. That
A lot of work.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of work. You know, as they always say in business, you know, when you have a business, always expect everything to cost, you know, 2 or 3 times as much and take 2 or 3 times as long, unfortunately.
Right.
No different than remodeling your house, it seems. But
yeah, like they say, if you can have it fast, good, or cheap, pick 2 of the 3.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, and we want to make our systems, you know, extremely solid so that we don't have to go back and do anything later on. You know, we want it so that we can just keep building off of it, and we don't have to worry about going back to change it or to beef it up, or, you know, or to make it, oh yeah, we forgot about this or whatever. We don't, you know, we're trying to think ahead enough and give us the flexibility to be able to do all that kind of stuff. You know, because, you know, the amount of data that's coming through with everything. I mean, you know, the amount of option symbols that come through just on the SPX or the spiders alone is just, it almost feels like it's growing exponentially, you know. It's not quite, but it's growing at a very fast rate. You know, we were looking that if we were to grab every tick of data that was coming in from all the US exchanges, you know, you're looking at roughly, it's, I believe my my hardware engineer was saying it's something like over 2 terabytes of data a day. You know, that's a massive amount of data when you're trying to, if you're trying to do every tick on a daily basis, you know,
Right.
it adds up really fast. You know, and with, like I said, with the CBOE talking about, you know, the Tuesday, Thursday options, I've also read that there's a company in Europe that's trying to, I think they're in talks, I believe, with the SEC about starting an exchange that will allow them to trade equities 24/7. You know, so I mean, if this kind of stuff is happening, which I think it's going to, you know, we want to be prepared for it. We want to stay ahead of the curve on all this stuff, because there's a lot of changes with this, with symbology and with the amount of data and all that kind of stuff that needs to be, you know, thought about beforehand.
And then John asks, where can we monitor for the new releases and release notes?
The release notes we're going to have, we don't, let's see, do we have it on? Don't know if we've added, we haven't added it yet to the website, but there is going to be a release note on under the support tab. We'll probably add it there. And then the events, we do have an events page. Right now we don't have any events. But as we do, if we do different webinars, or if we have major, you know, any kind of major event coming out, we will usually we're going to probably put it under the events page or the support page here. So let's see here. Yeah, and just, you know, one of the other things that we're really proud of here is a lot of the people that we have hired on as our programmers and, you know, our computer specialists and our support people and different things like that. All the people we have here are really, they're really financial people to begin with. You know, one of my programmers that I have actually used to run a small hedge fund and is extremely knowledgeable when it comes to volatility and the formulas behind, you know, for volatility. And he's a phenomenal programmer also. You know, so that's, you know, the people we have here now are all very well versed in all sorts of, you know, financial products, and they have a passion for it. So it definitely helps, you know, with the way we're creating new software and that. So let's see.
Say, Eric, yeah, it's already possible to show real-time intraday T+0 line on expiration day, or do you plan to implement that?
Yeah, that's going to be one of the things that as we the real time is, like I said, is going to be one of the things that we're working on to try to get that better. You know, as we get more data coming in and different things like that. Oh, I see here Trade Finder. Yeah, we still have Trade Finder and we still have Survey. Those are two that are still included with OptionVue itself. You know, OpScan kind of complements those two also, which is the separate one. But all the products, you know, we're trying to get on a schedule here where the products are always going to be, you know, we're going to always just keep improving them. We don't want to make it to where we're, you know, okay, once a year we're going to try and add improvements to this or that. You know, we want to make it to where, as people are asking for different features or want to see different things, we want to make it on a more real-time basis as to, you know, how, you know, to make it so that we can quickly put that stuff in there as fast as possible. But yeah, so that's kind of the real big overview, you know, of what we've been doing here. I mean, I hope that kind of gives people a better idea of what's been going on over the last 2 years. This in 2022, now you're going to see more, people will start to see more improvements and changes that they will actually see, as opposed to the last couple of years. It's been all this behind the scenes stuff that people don't notice right away. So let's see here.
Aspire goals.
Yes, I'm assuming you mean, well, I guess I don't know if you mean like with the modeling. Like I said, we're about a month or two away from actually releasing the new modeling. Yeah, I mean, I can bring up, sure. I mean, I can. Is there anything in particular that anybody wants to see? I mean, I can bring up OptionVue and let's see. I share my screen here. Oops.
I think you're still sharing it.
Yeah.
Unless you're sharing the browser, then we wouldn't see.
Yeah, I
that.
am. I gotta change my screen here. So let me.
So you probably have to stop sharing and then reshare.
Okay. That's. Okay. So can you see?
I do. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, as you can see, we still have the trade finder and survey up here. You know, if I guess, you know, we still have our matrix, you know, which we can pull up. And this one I'm actually connected to our live feed on this. So, you know, it does change. Let me see here. Lost my chat here for a minute. So, I don't know how familiar people are with, you know, I'm assuming you have a lot of people who have, some are familiar with this, some are not, and that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people in the old group that have been using OptionVue for many years.
Mm-hmm. I
But
mean,
then,
we still, oh, go ahead, sorry.
but then a lot of people have moved to Option and Explorer, so maybe the new people aren't so familiar with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we still have in the matrix here, you can still go in here and change, you know, these are the different columns that you can change to. You can move that over just to let people see that. You can also do the same thing up here in the quotes display. You have different options. You can add and subtract here. But so I can just put on, you know, if you purchase, we can do a quick one here, you know, just do one contract. And when you analyze it, you know, it's similar. The analysis in that still looks similar to what we had before. And of course, the different lines, you can have you can change the number of lines that you want in terms of the number, you know, looking out. So this is going to look at the 12th, the 11th, and the 9th, you know, for each one, depending on which line.
Yeah, it expires in 3 days. So.
Right. Yeah. So I guess I should, yeah, I can actually, let me do this. I'll pick something else here. I'll go out to here. Therefore, you got that. You can add more lines to it, you know, giving you more days. If you want to see more projections, you know, and obviously when you click on each one, it then will show you the standard deviations are down here. The pink one, I guess you could say, is the first standard deviation, second standard deviations, and that you can take, you know, you can go anywhere along it to see where what your profit, what your P&L is, your gammas, and all your Greeks. You know, so this, for people who have looked at this before, it's pretty similar. You know, we haven't, like I said, we haven't changed a whole lot on that yet, because we're trying to get the program to, you know, to run quicker and just be able to handle a lot of the data that we see that's going to be coming in. And then I can go over here. Oops, second. changes. With Backtrader, it's actually pretty easy to use. You know, you can go in here and just choose. You can choose any day you want. Then it'll update, and then you can open up the matrix. And so now you've got it for January, and then you can do, of course, all the same stuff as you did before, you know, in terms of analysis, and it'll give you the analysis based on based back on January 11th.
Let's see, Nick had a question. Let's see.
Sure.
Where is it? I use OptionVue. I've been having issues back testing back in March of 2020. Do you have any suggestions to get the correct information to show up? Other than that, he loves the software.
You know, for Nick, I know I've talked to Nick before. I would say I'd have no problem talking. I can give Nick a call after this, only because sometimes the issues depend on the settings that you have, and so I know I don't want to kind of, you know, take up too much time just going over that at this point, because there can be there's a lot of different settings that can affect how the back testing looks and how it analyzes and different things like that. So I prefer, like I said, I'll give Nick a call afterwards.
So do you have like a roadmap of when you your first cut or the alpha version will be on the new software?
That we're hoping to have that out within a year. You know, and then what we'd probably be doing is, you know, put a beta version out there that people can test in that, and keep the old version here too. Because it's, you know, there's a lot that we want to do and incorporate into there, and so we're trying to find the right balance of, you know, putting in what people have requested over the years, some of the any features that they want to see, you know, and not trying to go overboard and push it out too far. I'm actually in the process of hiring another programmer also. We've already got a team of programmers, and I'm looking for another one. So, you know, we're expanding and trying to get this done as quick as we can. And obviously with software, it's always, you know, you're always improving it or making changes to it, because things are always changing, you know, with new versions of Windows and new versions of Apple products and different things like that you always have to see if anything's changed. So
It's like a website. It's never done.
Exactly. Right. So, yeah, other than that, I mean, oh, you know what, actually what I can show is one of the things that we have done is when people log into OptionVue now, the new version of OptionVue, whatever email address and password they have for the website is now actually the same one that they use to log into OptionVue. So that's one of the first things that we did do here is we got rid of having a separate password and username for OptionVue than what you have for the website. So that's like I said, the first stage is doing that, and going forward, we just want to keep putting that stuff together so that there is, you know, it's easier to log into, easier to change your password, and it goes across all the platforms easily.
Very nice.
So,
makes it simple.
Yeah, that's what we're trying. That's what we're working for. So, I guess on my end, I've kind of gone over everything that I wanted to go over. I don't know, was there anything, Tom, anything further that you wanted to?
Yeah, there was one more question from
Oh, yeah.
Jed. Would it be possible to show the standard deviation as a superimposed bell curve plot versus horizontal range at the bottom?
No, right now, we just have it as the range. So, yeah, we can always look into trying to do that differently though.
Yeah, it's going to consider that a feature request, I guess, for the next.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, and Steve said he joins late. Did you already discuss the pricing model? A little bit.
Yeah. Steve, basically, we're as I had mentioned, or what I had said before was, we're actually rewriting or updating the modeling module for OptionVue. That should be we plan on releasing that in the next month or two. So so it'll make some changes to the modeling, hopefully give a little bit more customization. And one of the other reasons that we're rewriting this too is, in the beginning, we're not going to add a whole bunch of other models, but it's being rewritten so that we will have the ability to add new models easily.
I think his question is more about the price versus the modeling.
Oh, discuss the pricing model. For subscription. I'm sorry. Yeah, the subscription here. I guess I can share my screen. I can go back. Let me stop sharing that. I'll go back to the other one here. So chat here. So yeah, so this is our new, Steve, this is our new website, and under products in that we have all of our pricing in that here. And I had mentioned before that basically Backtrader, OpScan, and earnings plays are all kind of additional software add-ons or upgrades, however you want to call it, that you can add on to, whether you have basic or delayed or real time. But you do need OptionVue, some sort of OptionVue, in order to get these. Currently, this is how it is. Going forward, we are going to try to make it so that we are talking or discussing making it so that that like OpScan will be a standalone, or earnings plays will be standalone, or something like that.
And then, like you said, if your previous customer, give a call and you can maybe work out a better price.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I'm happy to do that. I have no problem giving if somebody would like to return and has been a customer in the past. Yeah, we will offer discounts. So, but yeah, you won't be at this time. You can't do it on the website. So if you do want to do that, please just call in, and we're happy to talk.
I guess the last thing is, if people have questions or features requests, anything they want to contact, how should they contact you?
They can. Right now, we're actually adding a couple different. We don't have the contact one on there yet, but the easiest thing you can do is actually it takes nothing to. Yeah, I can actually log out of here once. Let me show you. So when we're logged out, if you want to add or tell us or give us any suggestions or anything like that, we're happy to do it. All you have to do is just click on the sign up, log in here. You just create an account, which all it requires is you create an email. You have an email address, your email address, and then create a password. Once you've done that, then you can go into support and you can add, send some stuff through support, or you can actually. You can do the contact sales, but then we usually call you back in that case. So that's either way is fine.
And you can also put a post in that forum thread, because you guys have access to that too. So I would hope you check it periodically.
Yeah.
All right. I don't see any more questions.
I see one. I guess Steve had asked. Is going to have an API that would tie into different data sources? Right now, we don't have an API, but we currently allow you to tie into Thinkorswim and Interactive Brokers, and we do plan on adding more platforms to that in the future as we're going. And
then, an API would be nice to put on your roadmap, because that would really beef up the software. Yeah,
we do. Yeah, obviously, it's. Right now we have more ideas than resources at this point. I've got enough stuff to keep us busy for the next 50 years.
Yeah, I remember I would be working for Dan and have some ideas. That's a great idea. Who's going to do it?
Right. Yeah. So no, but we're doing, like I said, we're trying to keep up and trying to, do as much as we can, as quick as we can here for people. And as you mentioned, the one thing that we want to make sure that it always has is, we want to make sure that it obviously that it works, and that it's, has it works the best, for everybody.
I think you'd mentioned to me a long time ago that you want to make sure some of the little quirks, like if you set up a box trade, sometimes the T+0 line was all over the place,
Mhm.
but fix those kinds of things too.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, and we have there's some other unique little things that we're fixing in terms of, if you don't, if like in our trade log, if something isn't entered in a specific way, it can kind of create a little issue. It's just kind of, it's just weird. It's just some little things like that you kind of go, it's just make it so that there's more than one way to enter stuff.
Right.
We're working on a few things like that so that you don't have to do it exactly one way.
Well, Brian, appreciate the update and showing us what's coming.
Mhm.
Hopefully, you guys do a good job and get the software out fast, because I know people always like alternatives, and
Right.
it's good for the market, good for you guys, and a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, well, Tom, I'd like to thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's any questions. Obviously, I'm open to anything. So I mean, I welcome anybody who wants to contact me and say, hey, can we see this? Can we do that? Please feel free to call me, and I'd be happy to talk.
Great. All right, well, let's wrap it up, and thanks
Okay.
everyone for coming. I'll get this posted as soon as I can, and Brian, best of luck with the rewrite. It's a big project, but a lot of people are hoping it comes out with a really nice product.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're working on it. We expect to have something, you'll start seeing a lot of changes here shortly.
Fantastic. All right, well, thanks everyone. Thanks, Brian, and we will see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.